part of Blue Star Families. We were, during the election, known as Blue Star Families for Obama, and that's how we started. Actually a fairly new organization, started in August of 2008, and in a couple of months, we grew to about 10,000 members across the country. We're at 68 bases across the country right now, and we intend to infiltrate all of them. Now, we are officially nonpartisan now because going forward, we want to support all military families, and we don't want them to feel excluded, and we want everyone to feel like they have a say in what happens in this country. But individually, we are not nonpartisan. And we have a nice little organization here in Hampton Roads. But I'm going to start out by telling you what we did during the election, and then Vivian's going to tell you about what we're doing after this and how we might possibly help Democratic candidates. During the election, I guess in August of 2008, Vivian and I were working on the Obama campaign, just peripherally, and we were sort of absorbed by this group of, I think it was 7 women at the time, calling themselves Blue Star Families for Obama. And if you don't know, the Blue Star is a symbol for people who have an active duty family member deployed. And so that's what we are. We started doing house parties in the area, and it worked out very well because, as you may or may not know, military families are a little shy about voicing their political opinions. It's difficult, well, it's not possible for someone in uniform to do so, but it's even more difficult for family members. They're worried about, sort of affecting the command structure, and also they don't want to be seen as harming usually it's husband's career. So you have to contact them on a one-on-one basis, and that's what we did. We had house parties, and we just sort of laid the facts out for them as far as McCain and Obama went, and it was pretty successful. Locally and across the country, we started developing a network. We tried to get at least one person who was organizing at every base across the country. And we did get most of the swing states, so I think we helped a lot there. But we didn't just stick to house parties. We also branched out, and we helped in local campaigns. We had networks. We did service projects. We tried to make ourselves as visible as possible. We were contacted by the media a lot. And our entire goal was to make sure that people understand that the military is not simply a conservative organization. It's just as diverse as all of us are. Well, maybe not all of us in this room because we're all Democrats, but the general population. If you look at a certain age group and a certain demographic in the military, it is overwhelmingly conservative. But if you look at the military as a whole, it's really not. And I would be surprised. It's really hard to actually poll military numbers, but I would be surprised if they didn't, by at least a small margin, go for Barack Obama. So our entire goal was to make people understand that we are not conservatives. We're not right-wing nut jobs. And we have, I guess because of our military connections, we have a certain authority that other Democrats don't. And that worked out well for us in the media because it's really hard for someone to throw the traitor or you don't support the troops label at us. And we were very proud to help Barack Obama and the local candidates as much as we could. And we did that with our organization. But we also infiltrated new media, social media. That was a really big part of what we did. And we tried to do it the same way that the Barack Obama campaign did. We gave people the option to get involved just by being a part of our newsletter. But online, they also had other options. They could blog for us. They could get involved in our live blogs. They could get involved in organizing online. We did everything that we could. We're on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Flickr, everywhere. We're there. And this is something that we hope that people and everybody in this room will listen to, because social media is not as scary as it seems. It's really just another way of socializing. In fact, on NPR on the way over here, I heard someone refer to Twitter as the new Agora. It's the new Greek marketplace where you speak and everyone hears what you say. And that's really what it is. And it's just the equivalent of going door to door and talking to people about your issues, only maybe it's a little bit more effective because you can contact so many people at one time. And you can have those personal conversations online. It's just something that I think younger people have grown up with and are used to. But all of us can do it. And I guess some of you probably consider me younger, but I've aged out of the young Democrat category, so I don't consider myself younger. But going forward, we want to use social media as much as possible because it's turned out to be really effective in political campaigns, and we hope that we can do it locally as well. And now I'm going to let Vivian talk.
Hi, you guys. My name is Vivian, like Steph said. And what I do for Blue Star families is I handle the general membership and the chapter leadership. And before the election, it was just really fast-paced, and it was whoever we were getting, like, it would not be weird for me to get 100 emails a day from people that wanted to do something. They didn't know what. They were military spouses. They've never been involved in politics before, and because they never had anyone express their particular opinions before. And that was also why Stephanie and I were attracted to it. So I completely understood that. And so we had regional representatives pre-election, and they were, all over the country. Since the election's over and we want to move forward, we're trying to center around a chapter structure so that they can really get to know each other and have that connection. Our mission statement includes about 4 key things: service, support, connection, and education. And now the service part it's very important to me personally. I'm a public administration student. So, and my family comes from a long line of public servants. And my husband being in the military, and I was in the military, it's very important when we speak and that everybody's involved with serving their country in some way. It doesn't have to be through the military, but, and I hate going back to being partisan, but it just keeps coming. That attracted, I think, a lot of the military families was that Barack Obama did mention personal responsibility. He mentioned service to the country, but it didn't just mean, he expanded to me the meaning of what patriotism meant to a larger thing than just putting a bumper sticker on your car or saying that you support the war in Iraq, and then, okay, well, you're patriotic, so you check those boxes off. And I think that appealed to a lot of the military families around the country who basically have been shouldering this burden of the war for 8 years while the rest of the country was told to go shopping. So it was that, I think, recruited a lot of people in the beginning. And as we move forward, that kind of stays in the back of our heads about the service factor. So you'll find that a lot of our projects are going to focus on serving the community in some way, because military families volunteer at a higher rate than the general public anyway, and I think it's because, probably they're made to by their command. But also just in general, I think it's an outlook that would probably, the country would be better if it spread. For the support part, the networks that we have created throughout the country, like Stephanie said, we're at 67 or 68 bases now. The number keeps going up, so it's constantly changing. And we do have 21 chapters now as we move to kind of organize people. The support part comes from knowing that there's other people out there that share your sentiment, that want what's best for military families. At the core of what we want is to make the military life and service sustainable for this country. So anything that goes to the betterment of that, and that was part of our reason for moving to the nonpartisan, was that is a nonpartisan issue. Patriotism is a nonpartisan issue. And so we want to include all the voices that we can have. But having said that, we are in the process of pairing up with the Truman National Security Project. If you've heard of them, they are dedicated to kind of connecting them. They're kind of...
There's only one copy.
I hear
so
coffee.
Coffee.
I would like some right now. This is...
One copy.
Actually, she wanted a drink from the bar.
I'm much better behind the interweb. And now I've completely lost train of thought.